tough loss. You know, the bottom line is we didn't do the things that we talked about all week. You know, really just the intensity that we played with a week ago. I just thought it was average at best. The execution and playing clean, once again, just didn't happen. You know, we're leaving points on the field. You know, missed kicks, 2-point conversions, and driving the ball and not converting in the red zone. Defensively, inconsistent. Had some really good moments and times, and then you know, had an opportunity to ice the game, or you have a great opportunity to put it away, and once again that word clean didn't come up with the penalty. And you know, you take that away, and then you have a chance again on 4th down, and you know, give up one that's just thrown up, you know, in the air, and give up the 4th down conversion, have an opportunity to ice the game right there again, and didn't make the play. So give them credit. I said it early in the week, and I meant it. And I told Coach Lee before the game that his team was playing really well in a very difficult schedule. And you could tell by the way they were playing that he was really building, you know, a really good program and team, how hard they were playing even with losses. And no matter what the score was, they continued to play hard all the time. And, you know, so credit them. You know, our team has to, we've got to look ourselves in the mirror and address the situation, and address the things that are going on, and respond one way or the other. I anticipate our team will. It's been a hard year and a challenging time, and there's things that everybody can do better. You know, I'm sure the team is very hurt and embarrassed with the way they played, and you know, we all are, and need to. There's only one way out. There's no way to point fingers or anything like that. We know there's issues, there's things to be addressed. That'll happen at the appropriate time. And then there's, you know, work. That's it. You just got to go back and work and try to get better in every area. So I'll open up for questions.
Mark, how frustrated are you knowing that you got to go back to practice this week to clean up the things you've been trying to get cleaned up all year long?
Frustrated, yeah. I think it's a fair word. You know, I'm very frustrated and disappointed that I'm not getting it done, that I'm not, you know, communicating well enough to push, you know, on the things that we need to get better at. And, you know, that's frustrating and also disappointing, and, you know, something that I got to figure out.
Mark, we've seen other schools make coordinator changes in season. Are you to that point with the offense where you have to consider staff changes now?
No.
Is there consideration for offensive line coach as well with the performance of the O-line?
I just answered that question.
Mark, obviously they hurt you in the run game. Was there any one particular thing that was breaking down for you in the run game?
You know, just inconsistency. And, you know, I was just thinking about it prior to coming in here, and, you know, I think, you know, we got to take a good hard look at it and just see why, you know, why we're so inconsistent. Too much, you know, complicated. I don't know. We got to take a good deep dive into it and see why. You know, at times later in that game, you know, we started getting some good movement and getting some good the run game going, and but you know, too late. I mean, we had our opportunities though. You know, Chris breaking off that run. If we get stopped, you know, we had an opportunity to win a game. And had plenty of opportunities there and couldn't get it done.
What about defensively, the way Vandy ran the ball?
Yeah, again, yeah, I think there's some issues there, but again, a lot of that has to do with the quarterback. You know, that was a unique play, the zone opposite the quarterback, keeping it split us with a call we had wasn't great on the 70-yarder, but that's different than just mushing you all day on that. You know what I mean? Does that make sense with the quarterback? And then there's times when it was passes and he pulled it down and scrambled to hurt us as well. And you know, anytime you're playing a dual threat guy, that puts pressure on you, it complicates your calls. we did have a guy rapping and looking for him there. I think he just got blocked late. We couldn't quite tell on one of the third down longs that he pulled down and scrambled for 20-some, you know. So he made some really nice plays, and he pulled it down, scrambled, and made some plays when he had to, and he also threw it, you know, when we were trying to, you know, play zone and you know, rush one less and spy him. He threw it into a spot or two that hurt us. Third down was a problem for us today, you know. And I didn't even look at the numbers, but I just know from watching the games there were some aggravating, you know, some big time third downs that they converted, you know, one way or another, either throwing it or running.
Mark, is there anything in particular in the red zone struggles the last 2 weeks? You all been getting it to their side of the field a lot and just not converting it in.
Yeah, and it's just, you know, it's killing us because it's stopping momentum, it's stopping plays. We're not converting the field goal all the time. You know, even the three there, you know, and Ruff kicked it good 3 of the 4. You know, but it's got to be 4. You know, it's just got to be clean, and you know, but you know, only 54 plays offensively. Again, that's not good, and that's both sides. Defense, we had the opportunities to get stops, and then offensively, we stopped. You know, they stopped us in some critical moments.
Mark, after beating Florida in Florida, after having been caught soft, how bad does this loss look? Considering where Vanderbilt was having won an SEC game.
Yeah, I mean, it's not good. You know, anytime you lose, you know, to anybody, and I'm not going to disrespect Vanderbilt because I have a lot of, I think he's doing a really good job, and I've been there. I've been where he's at. You know, so I know very clearly what it's like to be on that side, and you know, I know good coaching. And so maybe everybody doesn't pay attention though because they just look at records all the time, but coaches know. And I've seen the way they've been building and what he's doing, and it was a good win. So compliment them, you know, by the way they played, and you know, for us, you know, again, I touched on a lot of things.
What happened exactly on the last 4th down conversion?
The one where they threw it up, and he ran by. We were in deep third, you know, the deep third player. I didn't see how he got behind us, but he did, and threw it up.
Or do you feel like you got out physical at times, or was it their scheme? Because they were getting 5 yards.
I think at times we were a little got mushed a little bit at times. Yes, I think we were not as firm as we need to be all the time. But some of that is the quarterback run game, and you know, some of it, you know, and they have a very good running back as well. That I think is a really good player, and Davis, and you know, he's a good player.
Is it confusing at times for you? I mean, you guys, I know it's not simple math. You add more offensive pieces this season, and you're still not able to get the ball down the field like you guys wanted to. Is it kind of confusing to you to see you guys not be able to execute that with more?
Yeah, and we really did push. We tried to push it. I think you saw some of the throws even today that went down the field, but also some of the calls that you didn't see the ball going down. We were trying to. We were trying to push it down the field today. Give them credit. They took some things away. We missed some, you know, protection, you name it. But yeah, I think we'll want to see the ball pushed down the field a little bit. And we had some, you know, some of the strikes, some of the play action in the game were good, and then we get down there and kind of fizzle out.
Will was 2 for 10 in the second half. Just how do you assess his play at this point? I know he's dealing with a lot, but
yeah, again, you know, it's not just Will. I mean, you know, it's hard for me to say that right now until I look at the film and see, you know, what we're doing around him, what kind of position we're putting him in to be successful, how players are playing around him. I'm sure he's frustrated. You know, he's a great player. That's, you know, we're not playing very well, and we're not supporting him at times, and there's times when he's not perfect as well. None of us are immune to this, and he's a big boy. He'll respond, he'll bounce back.
In the first drive, Fabian had 38 yards. In the first touchdown drive, at 38 yards, but with that going on, it seemed like it was inconsistent. You got bogged down.
Yeah, I think he made a couple tough catches early too, and you know, it was nice to see him get some touches and get some good plays. And you know, when again, it comes down to, you know, when you get in 54 plays, nobody's getting enough touches, you know, and so just kind of piece it together better.
Mark, you mentioned intensity, and obviously Vanderbilt very hungry to break that conference losing streak. Your coaches say sometimes the other team just wanted it more. Was that a factor today, you think?
I don't know. I think, you know, again, you give them credit, and, you know, you understand. I mean, again, I've been there. I've been where he's at, and I know how hard they work to get to that point. And so it's a good moment for them. You know, it's hard for me to put my finger on exactly what it is, and it wouldn't be fair to just say any one thing.
Mark, to go back to Will for a minute, he's taken so much punishment. He's just been hit so much. You think that has just started to impact him in the pocket?
I don't know. You know, I don't know. I think, you know, there's times when you used to see him pull it down and run when he had to, and the confidence in that run and running ability, and he's not been as effective out of timing, and that could be for a variety of reasons.
You mentioned it's a couple more. You mentioned it's been a tough year. At the start of the year, you had a team that deserved the high expectations. A lot of talent on this team. Are you surprised that the season has turned out the way it has, and it hasn't resulted in the wins that you want?
Disappointed. Disappointed with the way things have gone. I think everybody is. You know, each year, each team, you have to go earn it, you have to go prove it. You know, I know that. We talk about that all the time. There's a fine line there. And, you know, for whatever reason, I'm not getting it done with this team, you know, and getting them in a position to be successful.
Mark, when you look at it, how killer was it to have the 2 first half turnovers and only get 3 points out of that?
I think it was very tough to get it 3 times inside the red zone, if I'm not mistaken, or the high red, or inside the red. And I think we had 6. You know, so that's very frustrating.
Mark, you know your team better than we do. How do you feel they will bounce as far as energy and intensity goes, with still a lot left on the table?
You know, I have no reason to believe they won't. You know, I think that the locker room in there was, you know, there's a lot of guys hurting in there, and you know, emotions run deep. You know, it's disappointing for everybody, and it's different. You know, let's just be honest. It's just different now with the way, you know, the portal and just different things. You know, it's different. You know, so you have to continue to grind and build, you know, your culture, your team, your mentality, and you know, I'm not doing a good enough job with it right now. I told the team that, you know, and I can't ask them to, you know, before they blame or talk, you know, amongst groups and things like that, to take a good look at themselves and make sure they're doing things. I mean, I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't do that myself and the staff, and so we all have to do that. And you know, it starts with you individually, and then collectively we gotta find some answers.
Mark, before he even got banged up, Rich was pretty open that he didn't want to use a lot of designed quarterback run this year. Why did you all take that out of the offense? Because it was so effective at times with him.
I don't think we would have just said we're not using it at all. I don't think anybody ever said that. You know, I mean, maybe not as much, or it wasn't in his system, but no, I think he would tell you that there were some times when we would sure like to have that if he was at full strength. And all that, yeah.
Okay, folks, thank you very much.
Okay, thanks.